We begin by lighting our candle to remember God's light is with us wherever we are. And now we're in the season of Epiphany, which begins with the three kings coming to see the baby Jesus and realizing who he is. Epiphany means realizing or discovering. So in this time we hear stories from all over Jesus' life about people realizing who he is. God came to live with us. His name was Jesus. When Jesus grew up, he knew that he was sent to live God's life among the people, to give them new life and new hope, to show them the way of peace, to tell them good news, and to set them free. At the same time, there was a man named John. He was a prophet. He listened for God's word and spoke it boldly. John lived in the desert, and he spoke God's word to whoever would listen, even to the king, even though it got him in trouble. This was the word that John spoke. Prepare the way of the Lord. Get ready. God is doing something new. People came out into the desert to see John and hear what he was saying. Prepare the way of the Lord. Remember God's laws and the words of the prophets. Do not lie, cheat, kill, or steal. Do justice, love mercy, and serve God. And get ready, because God is doing something new. And some of the people saw him and heard him and said to themselves, well now, wasn't that interesting? And then they went home. But some of them, when they listened, heard not only John's voice, but God's voice in their hearts, calling them by name. So they said to John, what should we do? And John said, come into the water, the river Jordan, and be baptized and washed clean all over. And so the people went into the water and were baptized. John poured water on them and cried out, I baptize you in readiness for God's new promise. Prepare the way of the Lord. Do justice, love mercy, and serve God, and get ready, because God is doing something new. And so the people watched and waited for God to do something new. And one day, Jesus came to be baptized. And John said, here he is. This is the man God has chosen to live God's life among you, to give you new life and new hope, to show you the way of peace, to tell you good news, and to set you free. And Jesus was baptized by John. He went into the water, and John poured the water over his head. And as Jesus came out of the water, he saw the Spirit of God coming down on him like a dove. And he heard a voice saying, you are my beloved Son. I have chosen you. In you I am well pleased. And the people were amazed. And filled with God's Spirit, Jesus went out into the desert to be alone with God, to become ready to do God's work on earth. And that's our story. And now we're going to wonder about the story, and if you want to pause the video to wonder with the people that you're with, you can. I wonder what your favorite part of that story was. I wonder what the most important part of that story was. I wonder why God's Spirit appeared like a dove. I wonder what it feels like to hear God's voice. I wonder if you have ever been to a baptism, a christening, in church or maybe even over Zoom. I wonder what you remember about it. I wonder why Jesus chose to be baptized by John. I wonder what the people thought and felt when they heard the voice and saw God's Spirit like a dove. Or maybe only Jesus saw it. I wonder what you think. I wonder what part of this story is for you. I wonder if there's anything in your house that you'd like to use to make something or play with this story. And we can keep wondering throughout the week. But for now, our story is finished.